fantastic. This is GT racing right now.
He's got traction, he's got with the outside of both of them! Maloney!
Oh, he's taken Anderson! Anderson's up to
Oh my God!
Oh.
Big crash! Oh my goodness, half the field's going to get involved!
Second very close. These guys are going to want to make their way through the field very quickly. Oh, there we go.
Oh no!
That's massive. This is it. This is over. I can't believe this. Oh my God.
God, what?
Yeah, so we're using the VRS Direct Force Pro this year. We have a wheel adapter right here, so I'm using the rim I used last year. But the motor right here produces a lot of power, a lot of precision, and it helps me, just feel the car more, feel the car a lot quicker. Especially, this week we're at Sonoma. I can feel it, when it hits the curbs. Any little change in the car, the wheel reacts a lot quicker than your typical gear-driven or belt-driven wheel. For example, if you're on oval and the rear tires break loose, force feedback on it corrects a lot quicker than your typical wheels. There's no resistance pretty much as far as being able to make quick corrections on the wheel. So all that, paired with how precise the wheel itself is, it makes it to where it helps you as a driver, to find that extra hundredth or thousandths of a second. So when you're getting a direct drive wheel, especially the VRS wheel, it's heavy duty. It's got good weight to it, it's not a plastic toy. It feels like you can really beat up on it. A lot of people have issues with their plastic gear-driven wheels just kind of breaking after a couple years. This thing just feels like it can go forever. The forces are really strong where if you might have to let go of the wheel if you get into the wall. You can adjust all that with the settings on it and stuff, but the wheel itself doesn't play around. It's got way more strength than you could ever need, and that's what makes it good, that you can adjust that down to whatever the car needs. So initially you'll be able to get the controller box and the motor together, and eventually you will be able to add a rim onto that option. They'll also be including a button plate on it to put on the rim to have all sorts of different buttons and functionality. Also, pedals are coming, so that's a pretty big deal as well. Hasn't been covered too much, but the goal is to also have pedals to go along with the Direct Force Pro. So that's pretty exciting. The wheel feels good. It feels very much like a real world steering wheel. You just kind of feel like what you would imagine the car to feel like. A real steering wheel in a car is very smooth, it's very direct, very quick, and that's what this wheel feels like.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Chicago, Illinois, right here for the Chicago Road Circuit, right here on SimSpeed. Hello, I'm JD Smith. With me tonight is my good friend Kane Kraft as we bring you round 6 action of the V8 Supercar Americas Series. And Kane, welcome to the show, buddy. We got some fun action-packed racing prepared on a street circuit right in the heart of Illinois. How's this going, buddy? How are you doing this evening?
Good. I'm pretty excited for the street circuit. We've just seen the real V8 supercars on the street circuit. Was it last week? It might have been the week before. But man, that was so cool. And now I'm excited to see these guys on the street circuit. It's going to be a tough one. Last night's race was pretty tough. Only 4 cars finished on the lead lap, so I think we're in for an exciting night tonight.
Going to be very interesting. Kane, while we're talking, let's take a break here and look at the standings. As you see on your screen right now, that is currently after round 5. We're going to talk about the standings. What do you got, bud?
I think that the standings are very, very close right now. I think there is 4 or 5 drivers right there that are right in the mix of things. And then the 3 or 4 drivers right below that, it could go either way between those drivers. So I'll be anxious to see when they get the points kind of situated out and see where everybody is.
Yeah, once they get things ironed out, we also have to keep in mind they do have 4 drop rounds, which is quite heavy amount of drop rounds. So things are going to get tightened up, especially as we progress further along into the season. We are at the halfway point at the end of tonight's race. It seems like we've flown by so far. We've had some incredible racing thus far in this season 3. And looking forward to, I think our next 2 races are on street circuits. So tonight is an important night for some of these guys. It's going to be a tough test. We have not broadcasted a race here. I know the guys have probably had at least one race at this circuit. But for you and me, pal, it is our first time broadcasting on this circuit. It is a special circuit. In fact, NASCAR is going to be driving on this circuit in the upcoming year. So that is something to look forward to. Going to be exciting tonight to see how these guys handle a tough street circuit. Looking forward to dropping the green flag momentarily. Right now, the guys are currently out qualifying, trying to hopes for a good start tonight. And if you've watched us this far, we've seen some really great racing from but you're looking at Brian Borg now. He's had a fantastic start to the season. Of course, Corey Shepard, who's had a string of wins as of late. And we're going to see tonight who holds up and is able to walk away with a win here in Week 6.
I was looking to see if last week's winner was in the server, and I don't see him.
Nope, and that is okay. Like you said, you do get 4 drop rounds. So, if you can't make it one of the nights, or if this track is not in your cards, then it's okay. It's not the end of the world. And if you feel comfortable enough, if you've had a good enough start to the season and you feel comfortable enough to be able to use that drop round, then by all means. And I think that may be what we're looking at with our last week's winner, Corey Shepard.
And of course, Shepard's here, right? Is he not in here? Nope, I don't see him either.
Yes, Corey Shepard is absent tonight, and that is okay. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff up here at the top. Tony Kloosterman trying to close in on Brian Borg's lead time right now. We are a little over 3 minutes left in qualifying, and we do have a new fast time. Aaron Dodd in the number 8 machine. That Commodore is able to post the fastest time. He breaks down in the 124s, came with a 124.9. Very good lap there from Aaron Dodd. Yeah, right now, good view at Nathan Gore. Let's see if he can put down a healthy lap. Good look in Castro Holden right there. He's in the number 11 car tonight. And we'll see what he can put down as he gets ready to close in the latter part of his lap. And you see, as we're watching qualifying, just how tight some of these turns are and how tight and narrow the track can get. You think sometimes with street circuits you get wide, but it's pretty tight out there, Kane. And it may just be my inexperience at this track, but this is going to be tough tonight. These guys have got their work cut out for them here.
Yeah, it's so close that a lot of times iRacing is giving me impact sounds as they go around some of these turns, and which means that iRace, the computer of iRacing, the calculations is saying that thinks that they're going to hit, so it makes that sound. They end up not hitting, and so they end up getting their lap in. But that's how close they are sometimes to where the iRacing is pre-assuming that they're going to make contact, and then they don't end up making the contact. It's kind of confusing, but a lot of complex calculations goes into it. And some of those times where I hear that sound, they do end up posting a lap. So they won't post a lap if they do make contact with the wall.
No, it's a very good point and well put. And these guys do got to get this lap in. They're really pressing hard to get that good time in now as we're about to crawl under a minute. Brian Borg is out on a hot lap right now trying to get that lead position. Now, currently, if it ended right now, he would still be on the front row, but it is important to get that number 1 spot and get that inside run down into turn 1. So right now, Brian Borg would love to get ahead of Aaron Dodd for the pole tonight. And let's see, he's coming in on about the middle of his lap. Let's see if he can get under that 124.9. That is the time to beat for the pole. Man, look at how close on exit they get to the walls there on the inside and the outside. They got to use every inch of track surface here. Let's see what he's able to put down. He's in the pits, all that buildup.
You know, these guys only get 8 minutes to qualify. And if you think about it, you know, they don't, on their out lap, they don't post a time. And so then they get a lap. And then they usually come in and get fresh tires. And then they have another out lap. So they only get a few attempts.
That's right. All right, guys, let's take a look at tonight's starting grid as our pole winner is Aaron Dodd with that 124.9. On the outside is Brian Borg. In row 2 tonight, it is Tony Klusterman and Ben Morris. In the third row tonight, it'll be Stephen Kukoski and Rika Roy. As we move down to the fourth row, it is going to be James Chastanoff with Brandon Igurchich in the fourth row. In the fifth row tonight, it is Raymond 2 and Jamie Machado. As we look at row 6, it is Jason Schoolier and Roy Clark. Down into the seventh row, it is Miro Haratsky and Nathan Gore. Row 8 tonight is Vincent Skilbeck and Shane Randell. Ninth row is going to be Robbie Bradbury and Wayne LeCompte. As we look at row 10, it is P. Lee and Jay Adams. In row 11, it's Jeffrey Eddy and Andrew Johnstone. And we're already underway, guys. The drop of the green flag right here in Chicago. Week 6 action right here in Chicago. And we're underway.
Yeah, nice job by Tony Klusterman.
Jumbled up. That could have been a lot worse. You see Jamie Machado right there involved with some of the contact, Kane. That could have been a lot worse. We got some great side-by-side action going on right now with Brian Borg. And on the inside of him in the JK Signs machine, the number 14 machine going to be able to make the pass. That is Stephen Kukoski, who is able to make it around Brian Borg early. Boy, guys continuing to run early as the guys get single filed out, as guys are able to find position. This is a great run up front. And Aaron Dodd able to run out to an early lead. I'm not quite sure what happened to the pole sitter to fall back a position or two. But yes, definitely a great start there as Aaron Dodd is your leader. Yeah, let's take a look at that replay, Kane, while we're thinking about it. I want to see exactly what happened. I was doing a rundown and we got started. And let's see, yeah, just maybe didn't get the best start off the jump there and fell to fourth place. Wow, what a start there. All right,
on still on replay mode here on Vincent Skilbeck. Here on the next corner, Skilbeck has just a little bit of a mistake here, and we're going to watch that here on replay before we go back live.
Yeah, thanks, Kane, for making me aware of that as well. And let's see, right now, Skilbeck and Shane Randell both had sent off to pit road.
Yeah, looks like that contact was hard enough to require some mandatory repairs. Sent those guys into pit lane.
Yeah, Kane, that is exactly what we're seeing. And Randell's still in pit road, so it's obviously a little bit more damage done to Shane Randell. Tough break early in this one.
Back up at the front, Aaron Dodd getting off to a pretty good lead now. He's got, 5 or 6 cars over second place Tony Klusterman. Maybe even more than that. Might be 8 car lengths over second place Tony Klusterman.
And now, Brian Borg is doing everything in his power, Kane. He wants to get up side by side. He will. He's going to get upside the JK Signs machine of Kukoski. And Stephen Kokoschke trying to hang on, but not able to, as Brian Borg and the Racecraft machine make the pass. And that is a great job there by the number 1 Ford Mustang. And Brian Borg is going to reclaim that position. He lost it earlier in the start of the race, and he got at least one of those back.
Yeah.
All right, Kane, looks like we're going to have a replay coming right now. There was an incident in the back of the field. Let's take a look and find out what happened as you're looking at Roy Clark. And, oh, boy, that was even close. That could have been even bigger. Tough break, you see right there. Dropped from 12th to 23rd there for Roy Clark. Gets into the tire barrier.
That was a hard impact. That's probably a race ender.
Yeah, that may be the end of his day. As we get ready to go back live, guys, we will keep you updated, but I do believe you're right on that, Kane. His day might be over. Great battle for 7th place right now. As you see, the number 17 car, that is Schooyer. He's fighting hard with Morris. And Jason Schooyer, he started in 11th. So he's done a good job, Kane. He's moving up several spots since the drop of the green flag. We are on a 32-lap race tonight. And that is, earlier in this one. A lot of racing left to go. So we'll keep an eye on Schooyer and see if he is able to continue this forward progress.
Yeah, great job so far. Up four spots from where he started.
And right now, also, I'm keeping an eye on Rico Roya in the number 10 Commodore as he continues. He's got himself right up on the back of Stephen Kokoschke. And this is the battle for 4th place, Kane. And yes, he has now caught him. So this battle is underway. And we'll see if we'll see if Rico Roya can make this pass. Rico Roya, I like that.
This track is so tough.
Boy, it is, Kane, and I have to apologize up ahead. As like I said, it's our first broadcast doing this track, and I am unfamiliar with some of the tendencies of this street circuit, but that's what first races are all about. And we have a replay on your screen. Let's take a look now. Jeffrey Eddy getting side by side, little bumping and banging going on with these two guys. Great footage there. Huh.
Yeah, the BOC car will be happy to get around him. It seems like he's a little off pace there.
Yeah, I was noticing that as well, Kane. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that, but we take you back to look at this great battle with Rico Roya trying to make it around Stephen Kokoschke in the J.K. Sainz Mustang, and they're going to continue to go at it. And we talk about it week after week when you see it and you got that car right on your tail end when they're in that rearview mirror. Makes it tough for small mistakes. Well, this street circuit, you're seeing it early in this one, just how difficult this track is. And these small mistakes, Kane, that normally may not be quite as big of an issue, have become big problems for some of these guys tonight already. And we're still very early in this race. So keep your eyes on some of these incidents. You see how tight these guys are running, using every inch of the track. And it is continuing to show its worth right there as you see the slight contact with the wall there.
Hey, can we go back and take a look at the race for position number 10? We got Brandon that's battling hard for position on Schooyer. Scowler, maybe?
I think it's Scholar. And yeah, he's battling right now with Brandon Igurchich, and it's a good little battle right here. It's a top spin position, a top spin. How you like that? A top 10 position, rather.
We'll keep an eye out for that spin. We might have just caught it there. Red car, hoodless now. Let's go back and take a look at the replay and see what happened.
Yeah, Jeffrey Eddy is coming down the straightaway here. Kane, let's find out exactly what happened. Was it me? He got a little loose right there. He did back in, got sent around, nosedived into the barrier there. And a tough break there for Jeffrey Eddy.
That's a top spin. You called it.
It was one of those unintentional mistakes, but it did play out in the end, didn't it? Boy, I hear contact on my screen, and it just gets me looking all over the track because I am hearing some cars hitting some walls. Rico Roya still working very hard on getting around Stephen Kokoschke, but Kokoschke is not giving an inch. He is hanging in there as both of these drivers giving it their all. We got a great Ford Holden battle going on. Got the Mag and Turbo Commodore trying to make it around the J.K. Signs Mustang. And Stephen Kokoschke deserves a little credit here for doing a fantastic job of holding off tight pressure.
Just behind those guys, James Chastanoff and Ben Morris in a battle almost just as good as the one ahead.
Yeah,
Ben
that is.
Morris wanting to get around James Chastanoff, but James Chastanoff has proven to be pretty hard to get around. He's pretty fast.
And I noticed, Kane, as we were talking, I know I'd heard some contact, and if I was noticing on the right side of Rico Roya's Holden, there is quite a bit of damage down the right side. It looks like he got into the wall. He's going to go side by side looking for some daylight on the inside. They're going to have brief contact, and luckily both of them now, Kokoschke does make contact with the outside wall, but is able to maintain position. Great racing by both of these gentlemen and great rubbing and bumping and grinding. But luckily for these fellas, both of them are still great A-OK. They're all right. Now we're going side by side behind them. Kane, the one you just talked about, James Chastanoff, trying to work the inside. The EMU Mustang gets and is able to hold off Ben Morris. So this battle is another one. Like you said, it's continuing. Ben Morris going to look for another opportunity here, Kane. He's going to look to the inside. I saw it coming. Let's see if he has enough to stick it. He does. Great pass there by Ben Morris to move up around a fast James Chastanoff. Fantastic racing.
We'll look back ahead at the battle that you was calling with Rico Roya and Steve Kokoschke. Steve Kokoschke still holding off Rico Roya. 0.6 seconds. That gap has just stayed right about the same. It's now 0.4 seconds, which is where it's been the last 3 laps.
Man, that's incredible. And these two continue to just throw down on camera for us. And like I just have to keep looking back and forth because it's happening very fast when you have two battles this good at the same time on track. Just to keep in mind, this is the battle for 9th place you're seeing on screen with Schooler and Agurkic. Brandon Agurkic getting into the back there. Maybe a slight bit of contact. They're going to go side by side right now as Agurkic tries to make his move. All right, let's bring up a replay, Kane, as we bring up the Virtual Racing School replay and see about what kind of contact happened with the wall here.
Yeah, this is the contact that kind of led to the whole setting up the whole pass for Agurkic.
Oh, man, he did get into that wall pretty good there. Great footage there. Fantastic job on the cameras tonight. That is Jay Kennedy, always doing a wonderful job in the production of this broadcast.
I want to talk just a second about Aaron Dodd, out to a 9.3 second lead over second place Tony Klusterman. A lot of times these guys get out in front and they do a heck of a job running a great race, and we just don't mention them enough. Aaron Dodd doing a heck of a job tonight.
You're right, Kane. It's almost like, how do you want to hide from the broadcast camera? Get in the lead and stay out front with a healthy lead. I mean, it does a fantastic job. He's out there running since the drop of the green flag. Now, he did not start on the pole, or did he? I thought he did start from the pole, so he has led this entire way. I knew he started on the front row, but I couldn't remember if he had the pole or not. So the Racecraft Commodore has been in the first position since the drop of the green flag. We are on lap 10 of 32, so almost a third of the way through this one. One thing we didn't get to talk about in the pre-race is the pit strategy of this race. And right now, James Schooler heading down pit road. And I also see some other guys that have been in some incidents on pit road as well right now. Boy, look at the battle with Rico Roya. He's going to continue. This battle for fourth place has just continued to impress. And Rico Roya not giving up. He is continuing to put down pressure on the J.K. Sainz machine. Ben Morris is starting to get a little bit of daylight away from James Chastanoff. That is the battle that is right behind Rico Roya and Stephen Kokoschke. So, like I said a minute ago, the battle for sixth and the battle for fourth, both of these fantastic races. Another one is on your screen right now. It's the battle for 11th place, and that one is really heating up. That is Nathan Gore and Miro Rotsky. I'm sorry, that is not. That is Nathan Gore and Robbie Bradbury. I apologize. And right now, Robbie Bradbury doing a good job once he moved up the spot.
Back up toward the front. Battle heating up just a little bit between Brian Borg and Tony Klusterman. Brian had caught Tony at one point and was right on his bumper. That didn't last too long. Tony really started pulling away, so I imagine Brian will probably reel him back in again, and we might have a battle there for that second spot.
Yeah, when and if Brian Borg is able to get up there with the simability machine of Tony Klusterman, that will be quite a fantastic run there. That is for second place, and that will just be a fun one to watch soon. Once again, Kane, we're keeping an eye on pit road entrance, just trying to see when these guys will start some pit stops that aren't unscheduled stops. I am talking about scheduled stops, because I know we've had quite a bit of incidents on track, so some of these guys having to get repairs. But the scheduled stops, when do you think these guys will start?
I imagine probably most of them will split it down the middle. But, man, it's so hard to say. There's so many different strategies these guys do. I do want to mention real quick that Nathan Gore did take that position back from Robbie Bradbury. We'd seen that pass a while ago, maybe a lap or two ago, where Robbie Bradbury passed Nathan Gore. Nathan able to take that spot back just a lap later.
Fantastic stuff right there is Nathan Gore in the Castro Commodore and Robbie Bradbury in the KFC Mustang.
So these guys having a heck of a battle. I imagine it's not going to be over quite yet, but we'll keep an eye on that one and see how that goes.
Yeah, this one could be very entertaining as these guys go back and forth. Big exit right there from Robbie Bradbury there. I thought he was going to have a really good run there. He had a really wide exit, but it looked like the right line, and he did close the gap just a tad, but it wasn't enough to make a run.
Well, Brian Borg has closed the gap up on that second place spot. Well under half a second now. Well, was that contact from Klusterman, or was it just the sound of contact?
I think it was the sound. It is hard to tell. I'm hearing so much contact on the track. Rico Roya, that damage. He's going to go side by side with James Chastanoff. Let's see what happened on the virtual racing school replay. Oh, big contact. That's going to add to that damage. So that's going to be on both sides of the car. Oh,
it wasn't over.
Oh, it wasn't over. There was more. And tough break. We've seen Rico Roya, if you remember, he's the one that's been battling very, very hard, trying to move up into that fourth spot. And that is going to cause some
first
issues.
Hit damaged that steering so bad, he just could not get it to turn and straight into the wall.
Yeah, Kane, that's something we haven't talked about enough here. Is we've seen some guys with some seemingly smaller contact. What a lot of people don't realize is once you get some damage to these cars, they handle different, especially, and once you get that handling off on a difficult track like this, and when you turn and you got a little bit too much speed on there, these cars will not turn. And you saw it right there as he makes virtually head-on contact with the wall there. And that really puts a damper on his race. Brian Borg fighting hard right now, trying to get around the simability car of Tony Kloosterman. Tony gets into the wall a little bit. And let's see, as Borg goes side by side, he should have plenty of momentum to get around Kloosterman, and he does. Tony Kloosterman there getting into the wall on the exit. We had just talked about that, Kane, and you see it there. I almost want to take another look at that just to see if it was just from going in too hot. Or let's find out. Let's take a look at the VRS replay now.
Whew, he managed to keep it off the wall, I think, but
He
he
did.
definitely slowed him down enough to where Brian was able to just get around him pretty
Yeah,
easy.
he was able to, but I think he locked up the brakes a little bit or something. He was able to stay out of the wall, but he slowed up so much that it caused Brian Borg with a smooth turn just to be able to go right by him there.
And it looked like Tony realized that he had to slow up so much he was going to get past, and he kind of got out of the way, I think. And
That is
some heads-up driving.
I'm starting to learn, as you see Rico Roya on your screen now, but I'm starting to learn now that that turn right there is one of the most critical turns on the track, as it leads into one of the long straightaways on this track. So you need a really fast exit there, a smooth, fast exit to get that good backstretch or front stretch speed.
Oh,
And
did Borg make contact, or was it just the sound?
I heard it. I don't think he had made contact. I think he's okay. I think it was just the sound. Yeah, it was just the sound. I was watching Borg in my camera, or in the corner of my eye there. And we do have some pit stops underway. The J.K. Signs machine of Stephen Kokoschki and the EMU Ford Mustang of James Chastanoff, as both of these guys head down pit road. So here on lap 15 of 32, Kane, you were right around the halfway point, we're seeing cars head down pit road. Vincent Skilbeck and Robbie Bradbury all down pit road, as pit road is the place to be.
You know, I think speeds are down quite a bit because this track is so narrow and so tight, but the turns are so sharp. I would love to be an engineer and have that information on how bad the tires are wearing here, because speeds are down, but these turns are so sharp.
Oh man, and these cars with the weight they're carrying, it is probably eating through tires like crazy. And I mean, you see it, the guys coming in here to making these turns. I mean, even when they were qualifying and had fresh tires on, you were seeing these guys really stretch and use every inch of this track because it is so narrow in some spots. And they're literally coming in as Tony Kloosterman makes brief contact with the wall on the way into pit road. And I think that's not going to cause him too much troubles. But you get so close that one minor little mistake can be, it can be huge. So this is a very difficult road circuit, as we thought it would be, but we're seeing it firsthand right here.
Leaders down and coming out of the pit box now.
Once again, if you guys have just joined us, this is week 6 action of the V8 Supercar America Series right here on Sim Speed. And we are halfway through with this one. It has been a interesting race since the drop of the green flag. Our pole sitter has led the entire way and has put on quite a good show. That is Aaron Dodd in the Racecraft Commodore. He's doing a wonderful job keeping this thing out front, making it look easy at the moment. And he'll be coming up on Raymond 2. We hadn't talked much about Raymond 2 there. Raymond's currently in 4th position. And I believe it's sometimes when we cycle through these pit stops, it can be, he's currently 2nd rather. Like I said, sometimes when we're going through these pit stops, it can throw my telemetry data off. a hair. But yeah, he's currently in second. I'm sure he'll be headed down pit road very soon.
Raymond too, a driver that's got quite a few fans that watch him on the YouTube. So say hi to Raymond 2's fans. He's doing a great job here tonight.
Contact in the back of
Whoa!
Raymond 2. His leader gets into him. That is unfortunate as Aaron Dodd gets into the back of him as we're talking about him. A tough break
Man,
there.
commentator curse. Sorry, Raymond.
Yeah, that is tough. That is the race leader, or we would assume the race leader once our pit stop cycle out. And let's take another look at that on the VRS replay. And oh, that is so unfortunate. Aaron Dodd coming up. You see it. Great footage there. He just got into the back of him, Kane. He didn't want to slow up at all, and just got into the back of him. I hate to see that. I mean, that could have been bad for both guys. I mean, it could have really hurt Aaron Dodd, and it, of course, hurt Raymond too. So you hate to see that. All right, guys, 16 laps to go in this one, week 6 action. So we're pretty much officially halfway through with our season here. We're halfway through the halfway mark here, the halfway race in the season. Halftime. Get the KFC machine battling it out with the Castrol car again. We saw that. That's Bradbury. We saw these guys battling it out earlier, Kane. Looks like they're going to continue.
Just want to mention Brian Borg is now in our effective second place. He was the leader when he came in.
And that is going to continue. What a great job right there. Man, when you see a KFC livery, can't help but want some KFC.
Yeah, there's so many times we see a livery and it's like, man, I got to get me some of that.
All right, Kane, we got a Stephen Kokoschke who is trying to get up there with Ben Morris, and these guys are going to go at it. That's, of course, Kokoschke in the JK Signs Ford, and then ahead of him, Ben Morris in the number 4 Ford. Almost said Ford Falcon, taking me back to the days of old, my friend. The visible Ford, yeah. It's a pretty sweet looking livery on that car. I have to start giving out Livery of the Week awards again. Used to do that.
That is a cool livery.
I like it. Tony Klusterman inching his way back up there to try to meet with current race leader Brian Borg. He is trying
Second place.
Or second place, rather. See, you know it always gets me with that telemetry data. But yes, Brian Borg is trying to hold it down up there. He has got Tony Klusterman in the rearview mirror, the Simability machine, making his way back up after that contact with the wall earlier that cost him. Tony's pushing.
So after the pit stops have now cycled out, Aaron Dodd is still the current leader. He's got 12 seconds ahead of second place Brian Borg. Tony Klusterman in third, 1.5 seconds back from Brian Borg. At fourth place, Ben Norris, 9.2 seconds from Tony Klusterman. So it is starting to get kind of spread out in those top several positions. The closest battle on the track at the moment is those positions between 9th and 13th, 9th and 12th. All those guys are all within about a second and a half of each other.
And I don't know. We'll have to pull up the thing in just a second and see if everybody has completed their pit stop.
I can tell you that Philip Whiting has not, but everyone else has for the most part. There's a couple drivers who are in the pit stall for damage. But yeah, everybody but Philip Whiting.
And Philip Whiting is in the BOC Commodore, the number 25 car today.
Well, Yeah, that's him. Yep, that's the lone car that's not made a pit stop yet. A little bit of damage there on his front end, so he might need a pit stop to get a little adjustments.
Yeah, we'll find out what's going on. You see Bradbury and Gore right there on your screen. That is for 9th.
Those two have been battling it out all race long.
Yeah, they've been going for quite a while, and I love to see long-term racing like that.
Nathan Gore has done an excellent job catching back up to Robbie Bradbury just a few minutes ago whenever I mentioned the laps and the time difference. He was 1.5 seconds back. Now he is within half a second. So great job to Nathan Gore for taking that time down and getting right back up there with Robbie Bradbury.
Not sure what happened a moment ago with Andrew Johnston, but he looks like he had some kind of slowdown or something and had to slow it up and had to let some drivers by. That might have just been courtesy. Oh, we got a car into the wall a minute ago. Who was that? Machado. That is Jamie Machado, who's missing his hood. And I'm going to have to go back and find out what happened to his car. Okay, that is from a little while ago.
Let's go take a look at James Chastanoff. He's caught up to Stephen Kokoschke. And we might have a battle on our hands. No, it looks like James Kokoschke's going to let him on by. Did I say James Kokoschke? Stephen Kokoschke.
Robbie Bradbury holding off or putting it on right now as he has got Nathan Gore all over the back of him again as this battle continues to heat up. Every time I look away, I come back and those two are still going at it. And one time you'll have Nathan Gore in front. The next time you'll look, you'll have Robbie Bradbury in front. And it's been a fun battle. We got KFC and Castro going at it. Man, yeah, this is good stuff. Good stuff. Robbie Bradbury would love to get around. I mean, I would love to put a little space between him and Nathan Gore. He would love to just get a little breather, I'm sure. That is a lot of pressure when you got a bright red and green and black car in your rearview mirror for, I mean, how many laps? Pretty much the entire race these guys have been going at it. And they're going to continue. They may continue this all the way till the end of the race with 11 laps left in this one. And James Chastanoff in the 5th spot right now. He's got Stephen Kokoschke behind him. And James Chastanoff holding down the top 5 spot for the moment. Ben Morris, 4th place. And then, of course, Tony Kloosterman trying to catch up to Brian Borg up there in 2nd. And he's got quite a little ways to go. What is that distance between Tony and Brian now? It's got quite a bit of road.
It continues to grow. My guess is Tony's got some damage that's costing him some time because he's went from 1 second back and now he's down to 6.6. So yeah.
Big damage there. Yeah, Tony's crabbing. I mean, he's crab walking down the pit road.
Yeah, it's been a rough season for him. He's still doing pretty good in points, but
yeah,
he's really had a tough season. He's had a couple good races that's really kept him up there in points. But man, I feel bad for Tony. He's really had a tough couple races here.
Well, he's a great driver. He's just had some bad luck and had some just a few bad moments, but unfortunately, those things do add up.
Ooh, there it was.
Yeah, big contact with the wall there. Boy, Hate to see that.
Is there a nicer guy? I don't think so. Well, maybe one. I can think of one. He'd probably agree that Bones Violence probably right up there with it. But man, those got to be the ambassadors.
Yes, they are great, great gentlemen.